Nathan smiled as he rested a comforting hand on Ulrich's shoulder.
Rest easy, father. There is no need to plan anything. I will fight all of the duels myself.
You can't be serious, lad. Even with your skills, it would take a miracle.
Despite Ulrich's absolute faith in his son, he couldn't believe that Nathan could truly handle things the way he claimed. Even if Nathan was more powerful than his father, he was still a child and had yet to accomplish any legendary feats of strength.
Just trust me, father. If I go up first and win a couple of duels, it'll absolutely terrify them. They'll think that if I'm tough, you must be even tougher, and the thought of you facing them will make them cower. After that, I'm sure that they'll concede.
Ulrich sighed as he contemplated Nathan's words. It was true that most people believed that the lords of the noble houses were the strongest members of their families, so many would suspect Ulrich of being even more powerful if Nathan could win the first few duels. Still, the thought of risking his son's life made him uneasy.
I don't know. It seems like a huge gamble. Think of what they'll say, father. They'll say that if Nathan Hayfield is already that powerful, how strong must the father be? Then we'll have dozens of recruits flocking to our banner. Talented warriors will want to learn from us and join our chaos. After that, a noble house like the Ravens or the Clays won't be a threat to us at all.
Ulrich chuckled.
Well, very well then. Once again, you have convinced me. I'm quite lucky to have a son so cunning at your young age. I'll leave it to you, but if I smell trouble, I'm subbing you out for myself.
Thank you, father. I promise you I'll make you proud.
You've already done that, Nathan. Just promise me you'll survive the fight.
I promise, father. You have nothing to worry about.
Nathan and Ulrich hugged each other and sighed. Ulrich stood up and went towards the door.
Good night, my son. Oh, and before I forget, when Sir Ian was still sober, he invited our house to attend his sister's birthday celebration tomorrow night. If you're willing to delay your training, you and your sister ought to attend. It's bound to be crawling with young warriors from her Spiritual Warrior Academy, the Academy of the Ancient Edge.
Of course, father. I'm sure Amelia and I would love to go. It'll be good to see Sir Ian back to his usual self again, and to meet his younger sister.
Ha! Let's just hope he can control himself tomorrow. Oh, and don't forget to bring a gift. Doesn't have to be crazy expensive, but it ought to be respectful of their status. After all, they are a High Lord household.
Yes, father. I'll see if Amelia wishes to go with me in the morning.
Nathan sighed as Ulrich finally shut the door behind him. Nathan stared up at the ceiling, and finally a deep sleep began to take hold of him. The next morning, Amelia was in a good mood and happily agreed to go to the central markets with Nathan in search of a gift. Before they left, she had scrambled to pick out her outfit for the evening and fix up her hair. Nathan smirked as he watched her fret over her choices. It was obvious to him that she too understood why Sir Ian had been so emotional the night before. Now that they were going to meet again, she clearly wanted to impress him with her looks. After a few hours of this, Nathan threatened to leave her behind, and so, reluctantly, she agreed to put her personal preparations on hold. The gift was the most important thing, after all. Nothing would make Amelia happier than if she could make a good impression on Sir Ian's sister. After all, she still had hopes of a long and fruitful future with him. As the sun rose high in the sky, Nathan soon grew bored of the countless stalls of overpriced knickknacks and poorly made fabrics. Amelia, however, was in her element. She was proud of the fact that nobody in Godricshall could find a higher quality bargain.
Nathan, look. How about this, huh? Or what about this cloak? No.
Amelia scurried back and forth between shops, desperately trying to pick out the perfect gift, as if her relationship with Sir Ian was itself on the line. Nathan sighed.
Amelia, please calm down. You're overthinking it. These are some of the wealthiest people in the entire fiefdom. What could we buy them that House Lightstone doesn't already possess? Let's just get them something that they won't be offended by and be on their way." "Huh! That's what all the other guests will do. And then Sir Ian's sister won't have anything she really wants. It's her 18th birthday, after all. We can't afford to be rude and run the risk of displeasing her." "Displease her? Or displease Sir Ian?" "Hold your tongue, you little rascal. I don't know what you're insinuating, but I don't like it. Now, come on. These antiques are merely cheap replicas of the real thing. Perhaps the medicinal store here will surprise us."
Nathan sighed as his sister headed into the large medicinal shop.
"Must we really bother with this? You know as well as I do that the medicinal stores here are worse than the ones at home." "Really, Nathan, I'm disappointed by your pessimism. There's always a chance of finding something interesting in a medicinal store." "Ugh. Very well, then. But I won't dilly-dally all day. I've got a lot of training to do."
Nathan reluctantly followed his sister into the medicine shop as she browsed down a row of dried herbs and goods. Despite Nathan's tone, he too searched the store in case anything special appeared. He knew that his sister was mostly anxious about appearing presentable in front of her crush's noble family. If he could do something to help her out, he would, even if it meant spending countless hours shopping. Finally, Nathan and Amelia reached the very back of the store. Nathan frowned at Amelia's crestfallen expression. Amelia did everything she could to keep from sighing loudly.
"I really thought we'd find something special here." "Sorry, sis. I'm sure we'll find something in another store."
As Nathan and Amelia headed towards the exit, they turned a corner and spotted something in a display case on the opposite side of the shop. Immediately, both of their eyes lit up. Nathan smiled as he raced towards it.
"Sis, is that actually a high mountain snow rose?" "That's what it looks like. What incredible luck!"
The high mountain snow rose was an incredibly rare item in the fiefdom of Godric's Land. It could only grow on the very highest mountain peaks in the region. Many had died or given up during attempts to find one. Once, when Nathan was back home, he had been hiking up Mount Dunn and seen one growing on a nearby boulder. He had thought to pick it at first, but then thought better of it. Snow roses took several years to grow to their full height, and several more before they fully bloomed. A completely bloomed snow rose was hardly ever seen, and even Duke Godricson himself was known to covet them. It was said that the Duke even organized special parties that he would send off to collect more of them. These were often low-born nobles of honorable commoners that wished to gain his favor. It was said that the Duke would tell them to only return with a high mountain snowflower in hand, and few of those he sent out ever came back to him. The three high lord houses combined might only have access to a handful of them, and most of those were bestowed to them by the Duke himself as a sign of his favor. And yet, despite its rarity, the high mountain snow lotus wasn't seen as a particularly useful flower. Its specific medicinal properties were unknown, and its use throughout the land was purely an aesthetic one. Much of its value came from how delicate and rare it was, and the fact that the Duke himself saw value in it. This was why Nathan and Amelia raced across the store to the front counter where the flower housed in a display case. Nathan hurriedly knocked on the counter as a shopkeeper approached him.
"Shopkeeper, I'll take this high mountain snow rose here. Feel free to name your price."
Suddenly, an unknown voice blared out behind him.
"Hold it! Not so fast!"
"Hmm?" Nathan frowned and turned his head to look behind him, only to see that a crowd of 5 young warriors stood by the shop's entrance. Nathan studied the faces of the 3 young men and 2 young women and realized that he only recognized one of them, Lady Sarah Hale, the young daughter of the High Lord Hale, the 3rd strongest noble house in the land. Memories of his old life flooded back to him, and as Nathan blinked, he realized that Sarah had been a schoolmate of his at the Academy of the Mystic Blades. He remembered how she had once brought him bandages after he had been beaten down by Jason Clay. Perhaps in his old life he had even had a crush on her. But now Nathan had larger things to worry about. One of the shorter youths, dressed in a deep blue cloak, came up to Nathan and pointed to the tallest kid amongst them.
Friend, I'm sorry, but this noble young master had already set his sights on the high mountain snowflower when you arrived.
The short youth smiled politely at Nathan and was horribly surprised when Nathan turned his back on him. Nathan proceeded to pull a bag of coins from his side and set them on the counter across from the shopkeeper.
First come, first serve. Here, take this and give me the flower.
Are you sure, sir? This item is extremely valuable. It would take
nearly all the money I have on me. Yes, my family is not rich, perhaps, when compared to the high houses, but I have enough to cover the cost of this.
Normally, the shopkeeper would not hesitate. If it were between Nathan and a commoner, he would have already given it to the young master. But given the fact that a large group of noble youths also desired it, the shopkeeper didn't know what to do. He wasn't sure which buyer was more influential. He couldn't risk upsetting these new customers who were clearly dressed in finer garments than the Hayfield boy, especially if he wanted them to return to his store.
I'm sorry, sir, but those nobles behind you seem to also desire the item. Don't you wish to discuss the matter further and work this out between yourselves?
Before the short youth dressed in blue could speak, Nathan spoke to the shopkeeper coldly.
I don't plan on discussing it with them. I was here first.
Amelia sighed as she tried her best to cool her brother down.
Nathan, come on, it's okay. Maybe we'll just find something else.
Nathan gritted his teeth. All he wanted was to buy a nice gift for his sister to present. All of the stresses of the past few weeks boiled up in his face as Nathan shook his head.
No. You saw it first. First come, first serve. Or does this store play favorites? If so, I better inform the people outside about your new policies. I'm curious to hear what they'd have to say.
The shopkeeper's head hung low. He knew that if things escalated, his business would be threatened. He dared not disrespect the son of a noble.
I'm sorry, sir. I was merely trying to be fair to those other nobles there.
Amelia tried to pull Nathan away from the situation, but he wouldn't budge.
Come on, Nathan. Let's just leave it. It isn't worth causing a scene.
No way, Amelia. I won't stand by and let them steal this away from us. At that, the short youth in blue grew red-faced from indignation. His sword-like eyebrows raised up in anger.
Steal? How dare you, sir? I ought to teach you some respect.
Nathan finally turned to face the youth. He was tired of the constant bullying by House Raven and House Clay. Now, whoever this new fellow was, he too was going to learn to steer clear of House Hayfield.
Go ahead and try me. Or are those just hollow words you're barking at me? You wish to feel my bite? So be it.
The short youth's face grew beet red as he grasped the hilt of his sword. Nathan reached for his broadsword at the same time. The tension was thick in the air as both warriors locked eyes with one another, waiting for the other to make the first move.